kid at the moment, but we'll continue with the React React portfolio side. So let's jump in and let's see. Where were we? There we go, and there we go. Okay, yeah, so we were looking into some questions as well, but I think we were making these basically these sliders. So let's quickly refresh. We're going to quickly jump to the section where we'll show some numbers. So we talked about having a number for number section, and we'll take it from there. So we'll have a number for number section. Primary is going to be this, secondary is going to be, I don't know, let's see, we could have experts on board, then we can also have another one of these. So we can say primary, we can say years of experience, so maybe 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 9 years. Ooh, 9 years. Secondary, here we can say years of experience. We can also have, I don't know, 2, no, revenue, primary, maybe 2, last year, revenue growth last year. So once we have these, we can start looking into rendering these right here in the section. So here, let's say number of section dot map. So we can map these. And since we have typed these using TypeScript, it's very easy for us to take the IntelliSense and then take it from there. So this should return essentially, I would say still an article. And inside here, I mean, we could use article, we could also use just a div. I'm going to just go with article, and the key here is going to be numbers, and here we have numbers dot I don't know, let's go with secondary because each number is going to be a bit different. So Darshan, hey, how's it going? I'm good, how are you doing? And then inside here, I think we can have, so this one has to be a class name with flex column, and then we also have inside here we can have an h3 that should show us numbers dot primary, and then this is gonna be a p tag which shows numbers dot secondary. If my voice is too slow, just let me know. We have class name. I'm gonna also connect with this as well. So Darshan says great, working on new things in React like use form, use query. That's awesome. That's really good. Learning new things using these libraries. Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I think the best way to learn is to just keep creating stuff, and if you're doing already that, that's awesome. So this one has to be actually text bold and text to Excel, and also then we can go with number secondary. This is going to be text class name text sm. Also let's make a mb2. So if I go now, you can see we have these 3 coming in. I think we can just go with 3, and instead of this, actually I think we're going to make this a string as well, which means that this, or let's also go with something called unit. No, maybe let's go with the string. So then this needs to be a string, this and this needs to be a string, and this could be primary 20, I think 9 plus 9 plus and x, and then this should actually have the text set, or the text actually right here, text white, there we go, font bold, and thinking, do we have font weight extra bold? Yeah, extra bold is what we are looking for, but not for everything, but just for this guy right here. Sudarshan says, what exactly? Earlier used to get afraid from Material UI, but now enjoying writing code using MUI instead of React Bootstrap. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. It's always good to try different libraries, and you are, or everyone is usually afraid from things that they haven't usually tried. But yeah, once you try them, then you're like, ah, it was super easy. But yeah, I'm glad that you're finding it easier now. That's awesome. Okay, so this one, I think we still get to put something right here. Maybe add another one here, and just gonna make sure that this also looks nice in mobile. So if I go like this, you can see we have something like this, right? So this one also needs to come in the center in this case, but we'll fix that later on. I think that's not of a high priority at the moment. But this one, I think let's just keep this grids column 1 in the medium one, and then you directly go here. Where is this M coming from? Oh, there we go. So in this case, I think we should also have a gap of 10. Yeah, so something like this. So now we have it a bit nicer, and then this as well. Awesome. We can also have another element in here. I'm gonna copy this guy. Shanta Khalid, Sayyida Mazina Akram. Okay, so you've tagged someone. Okay. Are you aware of Vue.js? Is it difficult than React or similar? What's your comment on this? I think it's quite similar. So whatever you learn with React, you're gonna have something similar in Vue.js for sure. So not difficult. I wouldn't say it's difficult. So don't worry about it at all. And here we can have a button with icon, and this can have an SVG as well. So let's pick the one that we had. Contact us. So let's actually copy this guy. We're gonna add it right here. And here we can say, tell us about your query, and then we see the button right here, right? One of the things that we also want to do is not to have a button exit here, but rather button white. Do we have a button white, or do we have a button light? No, we don't have it. What if I don't give it a class name? I think by default it takes something weird. So let's have a look at the button right here. So we do have ghost, glass button. Ooh, this is fancy. Disable button, square button. We also have button with icon as well. How do you do that? Just button with an SVG. Interesting. I don't have click animation. Oh, we'll look at that later. So Darshan says, my team lead demands that from me. Do you mean learning Vue.js? That's good. Yeah, it's a good technology to learn. So look into it. Look into that for sure. If the company needs that, and you don't have any issues with that, and ideally people should not, because we need to be software engineers and not really, just technology specialist, so to say. So you should be able to just pick any technology, but not too often. That also hurts. So any extreme is bad. Texter says, Salam Ahsan bhai, I have a question regarding keeping cost in mind as software engineer when proposing a solution. If I propose a solution that I know will cost us more, let's say in AWS bill, but it will be a better solution, what should I do? The question would be, what is the priority of the company? If the company does not want to spend that much amount of time or even the money, then they're not really going to. So even your job is to assess the situation at hand based on the constraints that you have. That is the job of someone who's assessing the situation. So you need to assess what kind of budget do we have. um, is priority or is performance a high priority? So if the performance is a higher priority, then you need to then you should recommend AWS if it increases the performance with numbers, like what kind of performance are we talking about. um, but apart from that, if you don't have that information right there, then what you need to do is if you know that they're not going to spend money, then you should not, and then you should come up with something or a solution that is cheaper, but the numbers will still be relevant, like how much cheaper compared to AWS. So you need to look into that for sure. I hope that makes sense. Tell us about your query. Button light. I don't think this was supposed to be. Did I put a button block inside the component themselves? Block? No. Then why is it a block? Where is this coming from? If I look at the styles right now, the display is flex. Ooh, no. Display block. No, I mean it's flex, but I haven't given this a button block. Why is it 100% in this case? Okay, I don't know. Max with fit, and I also need to have a MX auto. So this is center. So tell us about your query. When you click it, you come to this form. That's good. What happened to this guy? Why is there no text? Oh, because of the select. Is that it? Contact us. The select has no text because I think I set the text color to base in the top, and now I have to set it for everything. So, or at least for the select in this case. So here select is gonna have a b no, text base, no, text white actually. Yay, there you go. Now it's much more like it. Text says so right now my company is on the verge of reducing the cost of our AWS, so I guess that can propose the solution. No, if the purpose is cost, then yeah, I mean if you're suggesting against it, then it doesn't make sense. So you need to suggest things that could make the cost a bit lesser for the company. So yeah, you need to go with the company. So for example, it doesn't matter if you think that this is the perfect way to go forward, as in standards, better services, better performance. If the company's goal is not that, no, you can't go with that. You need to make sure that the company is successful based on the decision that they are taking. So yeah, it's not about anyone's individual sort of preferences, but rather what the team thinks collectively as the team or as the company. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we got that one done. And then we can also have some sort of components. Okay. So then we should also have some component for case studies. So let's also create a div or a section for case studies. This is the contact us form. And this one should be case studies section, case studies. And in this one, we also want to have, no, I think the, I'm thinking. So first of all, we can have a header or thinking. And here we can go ahead and say, I don't know, even without the header, I think we can go just with an h2. So h2 cr studies. This one can go inside with class name text accent. Here we are gonna also say text to excel, text bold. In this case, I think this all should be this class, so class name. So if we look at this, we have CR case studies, and I think we can also do some sort of a minimum height screen like this. I don't know. Do we want a minimum? Like, no, I don't know. We'll see. But I also want to have these px4, py10, and then this. So let's go with this one. Let's remove this guy. Text center. So we got CR case studies, and then we can add more content to it. Tector says pretty good answer from the king himself. Thank you for that. No problem at all. Happy to help. Okay, so then we should have some sort of component for this. Let's create a card component, a case study card, something like that. So case study card, case study card.tsx. And in this one, we can start with creating an article. Should have a class name, card. Then we should have a h3 class name, card title. Here, I think we would have to give it a, I don't know. We can have the card title, but we can have some sort of image in that inside of the title, and then we can have another div that it's gonna have a class name, card body, and a card body can have the h3, and this would say something like, I don't know, a Chrome extension focusing on shopping. If that is the case, then we also should have market, technology, and then the button. So here we could have something like, I don't know, grid calls to, and then we should have, in this one we can say, let's call it flex call gap 2, and then inside here we can have a heading, or I don't know, we could have a label which can be market, and then we can have a p value that says, I don't know, fintech, and this can be class name text accent. So we got market, class name text accent. Then we should also have something similar, so we should have another div this should be quite the same, but this one should say tech or technologies. And here we can say, I don't know, React, Python, AWS, Postgres, something like this. So now if I look at this, we should have, now we can start using the case card study. So if I go to page.tsx here, we can add a div case studies, and here we can just render case study card. So let's see. Okay, so we do have something right here. So what we want to do is, at least in this card, we should have a BG gray 800. I think we had something similar in here. What was the card? Yeah, so this one, card BG, yeah, something like this. So I'm not really sure if I want the 96 thingy there, but we'll look into it. We'll see. So this one should have all these classes. So it looks something like this. I think we'll go with not 96, but I don't know, width 72. Let's see. Mr. Merid is asking here, Ahsan, what test library do you use to test your Angular apps? Karma, Jest, and Cypress. I use Jest and Cypress, both of them. And justify between. We should have some sort of spacing in between. I think it's the text center that is being applied to all of it. And that is because of this text center. I think this one. Yeah. So we need to remove it from here. This is much better. And then we can quickly set this right here. So this should be text center. And then we have this right here. Okay. So for the case study, let's say that this should have a class name of font bold. Okay. I think this can be improved in terms of the width. So maybe, I don't know, 80. Yeah, I think this is much better. Then we should have all the sizes of this one. Font SM, no, it's I think text SM. Okay. Let's also have some sort of margin top from this one. So MT4. This is how it looks right now. This is how it looks now. So pretty nice. I would increase this a bit. Maybe, I don't know, 84. There's no 84 actually. I know. Okay, so 80, no, 96. Let's keep it like this. That's fine. Okay, so once we have our heading, which was right here, let's also give this MB of 6. So we have some sort of spacing. And then we also need some sort of, I don't know, images or even a button as well. So here we can have at the bottom of this, we can have card title, card body. So in the card body, we can have a button, or we can also have a div actually. Class name, here we can say flex end, and here we can have button with icon. And now I need to see, okay, yeah, let's just do a case study thingy. So arrow, no, get a, no, what was the button with icon? So this one had, this was contact us, and then this was services. Yeah, so we need this guy right here. here, I don't think this should have href at the moment. Read case study. So here we go. However, this should be towards the other side or towards the end side, and here we can also bdm sm, so a bit small. I also want this to have a margin top of 6, so this is has a space. This should also have width full, because right now the button seems to be here. We want it right here. So if we do this, flex and empty 6 width full, this should have done it, but it did not. Let's see why not. Case studies is this one. This is the card title. Card body is this one. Then we had the card body had this div. Oh, it's not flex end actually, it's justify end. That's why. There we go. Okay, so damn, my triceps hurt. I think yesterday in the gym I did too much, so now it's like this place is burning. Also the shoulders, but mainly the chests. Okay, so we got this guy written. That's fine. We should also have some sort of images, and then also the company names as well. So we could have something like in the title, we should have some sort of image. Seems like my kid is enjoying. Do you hear him? Like button looks better on the left side, Khafar Mahfouz. Not really. It might look better on the left side, but it's not a great user experience. And let me tell you why. Majority of the people in the world, they're not this one, but if I show this one, so they're right hand sided, so they use their right hand. So it takes them much lesser time to click here than here. That's why when we try to use our thumb, if you use Instagram, if you use TikTok, if you use Facebook, all the buttons that you see, like, follow, comment, they are all on the right side and not on the left side. By the way, my image is reversed, so it shows me reverse, but yeah, hear my words. So even if it looks better on the left side, even if I'm not agreeing that it doesn't. I think they both look the same in this case, but all the actions usually are on the right side. So we're going to keep it on the right side. All right, so we got the read case study, and let's pick some image actually from one of the portfolios. So if I go to portfolio, let's pick this image. So open image in new tag. Let's just pick this one for now. So this one, no, but if I try to do this, then it's gonna start crying that no, I don't really know of these. So okay, where do we save this? It should be in the public. So if I go to public assets, we will in Find Explorer. Let's copy this URL. Let's go here, paste that URL, assets here. Let's create a new folder. We call it images, and here we can say team center, or even maybe projects and team center, or we can say project snapshots. Then we got team center, so let's save that guy. Now we can say images, and then right click this, copy relative path, and now here I can just go and say this. There we go. But I don't want to use public, and I also want to use the normal slash and not the project. Okay, then we have alt, and this should basically say and then we can say team center, and then width is gonna be, the width I think is gonna be 200, and the height is also gonna be 200. Oh, I need to import this from NextJS. Image, next image. There we go. Momin Ishfaq, hey, how's it going, Momin? Are you doing good? And Ash G says, hey Ahsan, have you tried freelancing? Either yes or no. How was your experience? Well, if you didn't say either yes or no, I would still be answering in a Boolean yes or no. Yes. And how was my experience? So I did freelancing for quite a lot of years, and my experience was good. Depending on what you call experience, but I mean it's not always as we say, the grass is not always green. So I had a mixed experience, so to say. Some clients were really good, some clients were really bad. Sometimes I made a lot of mistakes, sometimes the clients were stupid. So it really depends on what kind of people you're dealing with. um, and as I said, sometimes I made mistakes as well, and then I improved on top of that as well. So my experience was good overall. Being in Pakistan, one of the things was that I didn't have any sort of taxes to pay, because when you're working or when you're bringing money from freelance, you don't really need to pay any taxes in Pakistan. So I did not do that. And then it was a good experience, and I also learned quite a lot while freelancing. So it was a good one. I basically spent extra time on that apart from my work hours. So it was a fruitful engagement, so to say. That makes sense. Should I go with 200 and 200, or I think it's going to be still aspect ratio 16:9. So this image, when we talk about its classes, should have aspect video essentially to get the thumbnail. But then I also want to have the object cover. So something like this, right? And width also should be full. So something like this. I think this is what I want. So now we have one of those, but we can add more of them. Now, one thing that you'll notice, I'm not sure if you'll notice yet, but you'll notice that these are edges or sharp edges. This one is rounded. Why so? Because this is the image element. So we need this to be contained within that. So we can say overflow hidden, and then that should make it rounded. Hey, let's go. So we can do the same for the other ones as well. So we have the case studies right here that we can add, and then we can create case studies for those pretty nicely. We could also add some sort of what do you call, some sort of link for the company itself. So we could also link the company up top. I think we could do that, but then we would have to come up with the logo. So logo, no. Pixum, no. Let's add the logo from here. So Pixum, yeah. So this is the one. So I'm gonna copy this whole thing from here, go to case study card, and then put it right here. But this one, I'm gonna have to move this a bit out of the card. So maybe we can do something like relative, and bottom, I don't know, 16, 14, something like this. And sorry, this should be absolute, and this would have to be relative. So this Pixum actually needs to go up here. I think we can do top minus 14 or minus top minus 14. So this go outside, but then we have a problem. The problem we have right now is that since we said that overflow is hidden, I can't really see that. So yeah, that's a problem. But how do we fix that? Maybe we can have each card, but have, I don't know. I'm thinking. If I don't put it here, then I would have to put it on the card title. And the border radius comes from here. We could also use fragment to take this one out, to be honest, but I'm a bit skeptical. We could also take out this into sort of a div. Just give it a class name of relative. Put the article inside the div and then move this image out here and then see how it looks. Okay, so now it looks without giving away the sharp edges. So we fixed that problem. What I do want to do actually is to keep this guy inside a container where I can also give this a sort of a border. So here I can say class name width 72, or is it, yeah, width 72. And then what we can do is this one also gets to be object fit, and then this also gets to be background or BG gray, I don't know, 700. Does it show that this has a background yet or no? And I also want to have this having a flex item center and justify center as well, right? So that also means that now we need to give this page a lot more margin than before. So for example, right now, if I look at the case studies, I think this should have a margin top of, I don't know, 12, even more, I think 16, 20. Yeah, so this needs a background. That's what I'm trying to do. So this one is a div that has an image, but this, because this takes position absolute, that's what we have a problem with. Okay, so then we don't really put the absolute on that, but we put an absolute on the other one. So let's see. Yash Serawat, happy to have you back. Thank you. Hope you're doing well as well. So this actually can go from here to here. There you go. And now we see some sort of background there, right? So this should not be -14, maybe -8 is enough. The z index of this should be 10, or I could also say 1. And this should also have a rounded MD, and this should also have a MX of auto, so this is centered. Width is this, MX auto, that doesn't work. So this one, because it's absolute, okay, then that makes perfect sense. So then, but I need MX auto. Then I can say left 0, right 0, and then this should be centered. No, it's not. Where did we make the mistake? So we have a relative right here, right? Because of the card. Aha, okay. But then max width fit. There we go. So now we have this centered. I would give this a bit more height, to be honest. Let's give this height 24, or height 18, no, 16, something like this, I think. But I then also want to have, we'll see. We'll add some sort of padding to it, and then we'll see how it goes. Pranav Reddy says, can you say your LinkedIn ID? It's, I can share this in the chat. But if you go to CodewithAhsan.dev, you're going to find me quite easily. So this is going to be your profile, LinkedIn SNIRs, and that is the one. You should be able to find me there. Was this message sent to YouTube? Yes, it was. Okay, so then let's also go to, I think this could be a bit darker than this rather. So this maybe. No, I don't like that. Much nicer. I think the logo we would have to choose would have to be really, really nice. Otherwise, they wouldn't show up as nice in this one. I think rounded can also be changed to a bit more. So this was right here. Rounded MD. So rounded MD, rounded LG. Okay, so now that we have this, I think this could be a bit better in terms of positioning. So I could say, I don't know, P4. And if I go even down or to P8, then I would have to also give this rounded MD and overflow hidden. So something like this. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. What do we think? The only thing that I don't really like is the color. If I change this to slate 800, this would change just a bit, but not good enough. I don't know. We could also have said like, I don't know, 400, but then it becomes really weird. So I don't really want to do that. I don't know. I'm thinking. So we got this card right here, which is 800. We are, or 900. We are actually showing 800 on top of it. If I go to 900, then I show it like this, which does not really make much more sense. If I go to 700 and also do a shadow of Excel, then it looks something like this. I don't think I like it specifically because of the logo that we have. I don't think the logo looks nice on this one. I think we can just remove the border, to be honest. I don't know. Thinking. If I just remove this, then we have the logo right here. And then if we move this to 14, then it looks something like this, or 16, then it looks something like this. So we have something like this. I think this even is okay. How about adding a thin ring border around the logo div? We could do that as well. Let's try that. So maybe border and border gray 700 and then rounded MD. We could do something like that. Actually, rounded LG is already there. But then if we move this down a bit, then it looks something like this. So this then doesn't make sense. So we would have to keep this on the top. We can remove the shadow as well because I don't really like it now. And I think we can also do a border bottom, just removing the border bottom. So border bottom or border B 0. So something like this. I don't know if, and then also the problem then becomes, it looks like that it's coming down and sort of, you know, going in a curve. We don't want that. So border B0, border border BR, I don't know. Rounded, I don't know. Rounded B, none. This is much nicer, I think. So we have this right here, but we can change this 700 to actually 800. Yeah. So this is like very subtle, and we have something that we can show off with this. With background color. I don't know. I did not like any background colors on this one so far. Because when we add, as soon as we add the background color, we will have to adjust based on the logo. I think it's rounded be none, not 0. But yes, I understood. So then we have, I think this is pretty much fine at the moment. I'm not too worried about this one. Let's also make sure that this is using the object fit contain. This is, I think, already doing it. If I use cover, I think it still uses that. Oh, but this is not the one. Wanted to pick up on this one. Height auto, max width 100. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll keep it like this. With the same position as you had done earlier, on top of the card. Right now it's above the card. If we add the color on top of the card, I think still it looks kind of the same, but I could try that. So if you want, I can say BG gray 700, and then if I do H, no, not H, but top 8, then this is what you mean. But this is still collides with the image, and then I have to bring it up on the image, and then yeah, then all of that sort of makes it a bit weird. So that's why I was like, okay, let's just put that on the top instead, like this. We also need to make this image, not this image, actually this image. So rounded MD, overflow hidden, but this doesn't seem to me like this is rounded at all. So if we look at this guy and this guy, overflow is hidden, and this is supposed to be rounded MD. So border radius should be this, but this image is not really having that at all. I don't know. I think this is the one that should get rounded MD. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, so, and this is really like tough to see at the very end. So here, when we look at this, it's like blending so much in that it becomes a bit difficult. Okay, so we got logo ipsum, and we can now render multiple of those, especially if you wanted multiple of them like this. So we could have something like, I don't know, we can have multiple of them in like 3 or 4. So we can have grid calls 1 grid, or and then we can say MD grid calls 2, and then inside here we can have the same thing as before. So a new array of 10 dot map, and then something like this. And then before the map we also need fill, and then we can do return case study card. Here we have the value, here we have the key, or we can call this index, and then here we can say key index, and we can now run multiple of them, as you can see. However, the 2 columns only come after MD, so like this, and we then need those. So in this case, I'm not sure even if we should have the width, to be honest. Card width 96. Maybe we could remove it. If we remove it, it looks something like this. And then if we try to say grid columns 2, then it looks like this. But then we also want the labels. So in this case, we should probably have something like gap of I don't know, not 4 but 8. So if I try to look into this now, you can see it right there. But what I also want to do is then to move the margin top 20 from here to actually the case study card, because every card has to have those spacing, right? So this is much better. Okay, so if I try to zoom out, look at this at the moment, now you can see that this looks like this. whenever it goes, I think when it goes up from we could say that this is when it goes from SM, then it's grid call 2, but when it goes from MD, so this should be grid calls 4, something like this, and then you can see all the case studies. Maybe we can reduce this to render 6, and I think this is a great way to just look at all your components without having to render all of them and having a lot of data. So this is like pure front end work, no database, no backend involved. Also, this section does not really have the margin and MX Excel, so I need to have that as well. I think, yeah, I think I should have that. So case studies, MX Auto, and this. So now everything is centered. Now I don't want all of them here, so I would rather refer to having a 3 when it comes to MD. I think this is much better. Then if I go down, it should be 2. It should be LG. So then this is 3. And then you get this. And then if I go a bit here, then you have this. I actually think this should be, I don't know. It feels like when we have 2, this is the medium. So this is a small. This is medium. When it comes, no, this is actually after a small. So this is, yeah, from the small from small it turns into 2. I think this should rather turn 2 into medium. So when it's small, it looks like this. When it is medium, it also looks like this. But when it's sorry, XS, this looks like this. Small looks like this. Medium should convert to 2, I think. And then on LG, then it converts to 3. One more thing that we need to do is also to say place content center. So then if I go here and shrink down and shrink down, is it not place content? I think it's rather than justify center. Is it not? Let's have a look. So if I do it like this, what does this look like? So in this case, we have the grid coming in. Justify is center, but this guy max width fit. Yeah, that's also the problem. So we don't need to give the max width fit, which was right here. So then it looks like this. So when it's 1, it's like taking the whole. Okay, then we need to change stuff. So page 1, this means SM is grid columns 2. So this is small, so 1 per line and centered. This is the second one, so it starts increasing those. And then this is the third one. I think I like this much better. Place items. Yeah, I think that was because of the width. So this also would do the same. Yeah, this would do the same as well. I think when it's a bit max auto, max one. Yeah. And this should be something like MD, MX auto. And in this one, I want to have a maximum, or actually a margin of 8, which is 32 pixel. So if I go like this, then in the shorter one, I wanted to have this margin. Previously, we did not have that. So it was like MX auto. And this could actually be LG MX auto. So we have a margin right here. Then we have a margin still in the MD, as you can see. Oh, however, this looks weird. This looks weird. And then we move forward, and then we have this guy right here. And this looks nice then. So we do have our header jumping around. So what we had in the width 72, I think we should rather have px 8 and not 8, actually 4. If I remove all the px's, we do have still this guy right here, and I want this to have some sort of margin. So mx should be 6, and now we are a bit shorter, but we also want to have am I using mx auto somewhere? Yeah, this could actually go away, and this should be rather an mx of 10. So we have something like this. And if I look, if this give the card a min width, I don't think we need a min width because we are not really talking about going a lot down, so to say. And if we start giving it a min width, then we would have to look into what kind of device we are talking about and what should be the min width. Because if we give this a min width, then it would start having a horizontal scroll. That is what we don't want. It already has the scroll for some reason. I don't think that is because probably for this guy right here. Yeah, I can see this causing the scroll. Look at that. Ooh, fancy. Yeah, we need to fix that. So we don't want a horizontal scroll. Ooh, look at that. That's super cool. So no min width on the card because we don't want that. Okay, so we need to give this thing, what's coming in, sort of an overflow hidden. So this section which had the slider, I think this is where it's coming from. And that is the element that is basically the biggest. So section, div, this, I think this is the one that has the issue. So if I do overflow hidden, if I do overflow hidden, then that becomes the problem, because then I'm actually moving something, but that's not really what is supposed to be moved. So this, and actually this is the one which should have the overflow hidden. So overflow hidden, and now you can see I don't have any scroll at the bottom, which is what we wanted. I'm gonna bring the browser a bit up so you can actually see. So here you don't see you see we don't have any scroll, and if I remove that, now you see this is scroll coming in. So the parent has to have the overflow hidden, and then we don't have the scroll. So let's quickly put that on this parent, which is right now this guy. So products delivered should have an overflow of hidden. Okay, now we have this applied not by style but actually from the class. There we go. I think this could be a bit bigger, and with that said, I think I can go to numbers, and h3 could actually be 5xl. There we go. And I don't know why do we have so much space in here. So we can remove a lot of py from here. I think py doesn't need to be here. Px still makes sense. And also lgpy16 needs to go away. I think instead of this we can say pb8 and pb16. So we still have the bottom one but not the top one. Okay, let's also look at this here. Yeah, this looks nice. Yeah, I think this is coming up pretty nicely. We also got the case studies one. And what else do we need? Omer asks, any mean stack project coming soon? Yes and no. Yes, because we do want to have some videos coming up, but I also just finished working on a book and I don't want to spend a lot more time at the moment to plan and execute a lot. But have you looked into Omer, have you looked into the full stack project with NestJS that I created? I think it was something related to threads. Have you seen that one yet? Mm-hmm. Okay, then that's good. So I'm going to work on more videos hopefully soon, but I'm not really sure when we'll start doing it, but hopefully very soon. So keep an eye on the channel and also on Facebook, so you can know about the announcements as well. But we'll see when that can happen. Okay, so looking at this, I think we still have a couple of things to do, but we'll have a look as well. But I think that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna take a break because I also want to have something to eat as well, and I'll spend the rest of my time today as a free person because I am not gonna be free from tomorrow. I am switching jobs, so this was sort of the vacation mode at the moment. So we'll see then how that goes. But I want to spend some time with my kids, so I'll jump off. Thank you so much everyone who joined today, and thank you so much for all the messages that you also sent and all the queries as well. So keep an eye for new content. For this year, I'm planning two different things. One is a React course that I will start working on in April, and not at the moment. Also, I will also start planning the videos for the YouTube channel for Angular quite a lot. So we'll also look into this. But if you really want to look into Angular and if you want to grow your skills in Angular, I would suggest looking into just the Angular Cookbook. So ngcookbook.com. So look into it. I think the new one has already gotten four different ratings of having 5 stars. So everybody said 5 stars. So this shows like the potential of the book. So I'm going to share the link in the chat if anyone is interested. So you can either get a physical copy or you can also get also the EPUB copy, whatever that is, or PDF as well. So it's really nice. I would highly recommend looking into that. I think the back also tells you like all the subjects. Does it? So not all the chapters, but you can see we're talking about components, services, directives. We also talk about progressive web apps. And if you have an Angular app, how do you create a progressive web app with, for example, I don't think we're talking about notifications. I don't think so, but how to create a progressive web application that installs in your machines and how to enable dark mode into it, how to also enable installation prompts, blah, blah, blah. Also looking into Angular animations. I also have a video that explains why someone should buy the Angular Cookbook. I'm not sure if it's public, maybe it is, but I'll share the link as well. And then NGRX, RxJS, performance optimizations, unit tests, end-to-end tests, a lot of good things in this one. So it's worth investing the time to practice all these projects and then also getting the book itself. So so yeah, have a look into that as well. I think the first one got about 46, and this was 3 years ago. 48 ratings on 4.3, so not too bad at all. And at least out of the 48 people, at least 24 people said 5 stars, so that's also amazing. But yeah, don't get the old one. Don't get the old one. We have a new one, so get the new one if you want, and it's worth investing the time. Having said that, thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy coding.